Good afternoon and welcome to Webinar Wednesday. I'm your moderator, George Zarevsky, and today we have with us Mark and Candace Perea. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, so we have a plethora of new features to talk about and some upcoming events and also some testimonials from in-house. So without further ado, wait, a little bit of ado. First of all, if you're watching the live version, please leave any questions or comments you have in the chat area and we will answer them before we get done with this broadcast. And if you're watching the recorded version, just drop the question in the comments area anyway, and we will read it and we will reply and get back to you if necessary. Also, on our website at the bottom right, there's a little orange chat bubble where you can click it and integrate with us through the chat ecosystem, and we will get back to you really quick there as well. So now, without any further ado, Candace, what do we have for updates?
All right. Well, we pushed some user interface updates out to our live version of Aerēz for our current users to take a look at, give us some feedback on. We'll start out on the home page. So one of the feedback items that we got from a user was that there was too much going on in the activity log. So we basically decided to hide some of that and just show you the last 5 activities that were notated on your network. And then we just put a link there. You can still go and review all of your activity logs for the last, I think we have the last 20 or 30 activities, which is a fair amount of information there for you. And then we did add a few new activity logs. So you probably, if you're just getting in and starting using Aerēz, you may not have seen that when you turn homework mode on, that adds an alert. If you pause or unpause a user, that also adds an activity log. It's just a way for you that if you have a device that maybe isn't working, you can check the activity log and be like, oh yeah, I paused Alex on his iPad and that's why it's not working. Or I paused the entire house. So
yeah, that's actually pretty useful. I've inadvertently hit pause. Well, it wasn't me. I'm going to go ahead and give credit where credit's due. It was my 1-year-old. She was playing with the phone and she hit pause. Everything went down. Everything. So word to the wise, put more than just a swipe to unlock. That's important. Anyway, so that's really useful. And also, when we do have paused users, it shows right above the activity log as well, right?
Yep. Paused users, those on homework mode, I believe we also throw out there. Or no, I'm sorry, my mistake. We have added a homework mode icon. So let's pop into our users list real quick and I'll just give a demo of that. So we want to be able to see real quick what devices are filtered and what devices might be paused. So one of the things I just recently added was this homework mode icon so that you can very easily see that that device or that user has been put into homework mode.
And we say easily. Let me just note here that, because we are doing this in a kind of widescreen format and the phone is taking up a small portion, it's the green bit here in between this text. And so we have the initial icon, which is the child filter set, and that's a little funnel. And then there's it looks like a book. Is that right? Is that
Yep.
a book there?
That's a book.
And then it says homework mode is on. Okay, just to make sure everybody could see that because I know it's a little tiny.
Awesome. And then this icon also carries through into devices. So if you take a peek at the device listing, the device that's assigned to Shelly in our demo here should show up as the homework mode in our listing.
That might be I've got a lot of devices.
You got a lot of devices.
Let's see. Yeah. So that might, what I'll do
Maybe
instead.
it's not even active.
Or maybe it's inactive. So that only
inactive,
shows
yep.
on the active.
So I know that Mom has probably got all inactive devices, but she has a homework mode on as well. So let's see. Oh, it must not show on this page yet, right? So it's showing on the device listing, but not the device listing for the users if you go that deep.
Right. Yep. So that's something that we can also update too, is that add the icon to the device users.
Well, I will take your word for it. I'm sure it's there.
Okay, good deal. Well, one last thing to point out, if you go back to the home screen, we have we've added a new usage screen. So
Oh boy, this is so exciting. Sorry, go ahead.
so before we kind of had an overall usage and it was just showing you a single point in time. We've now added a graph that will show you some continual points and graph it out. So I will let Mark and George talk a little bit more about that graph.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm super excited about this. What we're looking at right now is the data, the up and down that's going across my network. And this is super useful in more ways than one. Obviously, it gives you a right up front look at how much bandwidth you're using based on how much you have available. So you can see here the top of the scale is 100, and I'm using less than 20. So that's pretty good. That's where you want to be most of the time. And that's including this video chat that we're doing and everything that's going on. So that's actually pretty good. Also, we can dig a little deeper and go into device activity, and that's going to show each device and what each device is doing. So I'll let Mark talk a little bit about the technical side of this, and then I'll come back and tell you how it was used in my home last night to find my very own sneaky kid, and we'll go down a sneaky kid path a little bit more after that too. So Mark, give us some geek speak on this.
Yeah, so we're not everything isn't quite perfect how we want them to be. You'll notice that on this device's deeper dive that the display doesn't quite line up perfectly, and we're releasing this even though it's not perfect because we feel like there are times when you as a parent want to catch the sneaky kid. And I think, George, you've got a story about that you'll share here after I explain a little more about this page here. But we know that there are times when you're wondering what's going on in your network, and you'd really like to get that instant view in time. Hey, how are things operating right now? And so the two screens here are that by clicking into usage right away, you'll see your current download and upload for the whole network at a glance. And then if you want to break that down and say, hey, I see that I've got more traffic here than I think there should be, you can dive into the devices screen and get the individual device detail. That did you have a copy of that screenshot that you sent the team, George?
I do. Yeah, I'll pull that up while you chat. I'll bring that up.
Yeah. So then on the individual devices, you're going to get a colored bar per device, and down at the bottom will be a legend, a key that'll tell you which device is which color. And then that way you can see that, for example, at our house, we saw that one son's iPhone was online. And that's how I found a sneaky kid playing, actually watching online video streaming in the middle of the night when he should have been sleeping. That was last week. And George has his own story to share now.
Yeah, so let me pull this up here. So this was interesting. I'm going to have to do a screen share here. Give me just a second. So this is a screenshot. Once I get it to fully pop up here. Just a moment. It's a screenshot of that screen last night. And it's a little bit, sorry, just a moment here. I want to make sure that this is large enough so that everyone can see this here. So what we're looking at here, and just as a side note, on our chat display here, you'll notice that there is no legend like there is on the screenshot. And that's because of the screen width. And we're actively working on that. And we'll make sure that the legend is there so that you guys can actually see which devices correlate to which color. So that being said, here's a picture of what I found. So this blue line that we have right here was my son watching his tablet, his Chromebook, and he should not have been. And I just happened to be, geeking out over the new feature, and I noticed that, and so that was my sneaky kid moment. I was able to clearly see that this blue line, and it shows that it was the Acer Chromebook, and I said, "Yep, that's him." So I said, "Hey, buddy, what you doing?" "Nothing." And sure enough, yeah, he was watching Minecraft videos. So definitely worked out in that situation to help me. And so this is a great in between until we get those notifications and all that advanced stuff that's on our roadmap to add. But for right now, it's really cool to be able to see what's eating up the bandwidth. And we think that's a great use case, great value add, even if it's not for catching a sneaky kid. Even if you just want to find out what's been going on your network, why it's running slow. If it appears to be running slow, you can jump in there and check that out. And I'll let you know which device is doing all the talking. So super duper awesome.
Yeah, I'll just add a little bit about the UI. So getting a graph to show all the devices into a mobile-friendly format is a challenge. And so that is a work in process right now. You can see on George's screen, you don't see the legend for the devices. So that is something that's coming for the smaller mobile devices. It should work on a larger mobile device. I think the cutoff there is like 400 pixels, somewhere in there, 420 pixels. But anyway, it's a challenge to make it look good on a small screen. So we're gonna keep working on that.
Cool, awesome. All right, so do we have any other updates you want to mention? I do have some upcoming events to talk about, but I want to give you a chance before I round up with that.
No, I think I'm good.
All right. So we are going to be at the Comic-Con Festival in Minot. Is that this weekend, Mark?
I think it's next weekend.
Next
weekend.
So it's
Yep,
next
it's
weekend,
called-
and the name of it is called a MagicCon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My bad. Not Comic-Con.
It's the
MagicCon.
North Dakota version of Comic-Con.
That's right. So if you guys are in the area, please come by and check us out. We're going to have a booth set up. We're going to be showing potentially some side-by-side examples of life with Aerēz and life without Aerēz. So that should be pretty interesting and fun. We might even find one of our founders dressed up in costume. Who knows? Anything can happen. We'll see. That's yet to be determined. And also, we've got some updates for it's not an update, but we have a blog post I want to share with you guys. We talked about it a little bit before. We've sent out the messages, but I want to make sure you guys know about the Sneaky Kid giveaway. Since we were just talking about that, just drop by our website, social.aerēz.net, or our Facebook page, and you'll see the giveaway section. And when you read that blog post, it's Mark telling the story about the Sneaky Kid that he found. And in honor of the Sneaky Kid, we're going to be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card. So all we want you to do is drop your email address and subscribe to our newsletter. We're not going to spam you or bomb you with a bunch of useless information. And you can also leave your own Sneaky Kid story on our Facebook page or in the comment section right below here. You can drop it right in there. And then also you can watch Mark talk about it. Last week in our webinar, he spoke about that Sneaky Kid instance as well. So stop by there, sign up for our giveaway, and the chance to get that $50 Amazon gift card. Boy, I could do a lot with an Amazon gift card right now.
Your Sneaky Kid story doesn't have to be technology related. I mean, anytime you caught your kid doing something that they shouldn't have been doing or you didn't think they would be doing, all these stories are entertaining and fun to listen and share.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, so we're coming up on the clock here. Let's go to Q&A. Do we have anything out there in the Facebook or YouTube land?
I don't see any Facebook comments.
All right. And I don't see any on YouTube. So with that, we'll wrap it up for this week on Webinar Wednesday. Again, guys, if you do have any comments or questions, just drop them into the comment section below, and we will get back to you and answer any questions you have as soon as possible. Or take advantage of our chat area on the website, aerēz.net, AEREZ.net. All right, guys. Mark, Candace, thank you very much for taking the time out to chat with us, and we will see you all next week on Webinar Wednesday.
Thanks a lot, George.